Hi, and welcome to Women Entrepreneur Spotlight. Today, I have with me Kim Mazewski, owner of Consciously Cleared and Contained. And thank you, Kim, for taking the time to join me today. How are you?
I am very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so glad you're here. So I asked you questions to get us warmed up. And the first one is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
It's a hard one because I'm very connected to my people. I'm really close with my family. I have best friends who are very local and just a short car ride away. And I've only just started traveling internationally in the last few years. So I haven't been everywhere to know the best place to live. But we were in New Zealand, and that's amazing.
Wow.
We were in San Diego, and that was gorgeous.
Wow.
Being that close to the beach and the city, best of both worlds. But I want my people with me.
Okay. I like it.
And bring everybody along.
Oh, I like that. That's great. And
Mhm.
then what's your favorite app on your phone and why?
I was actually thinking about this today because I have a client in North Wilmington. I had to go pick up my toddler from Hockessin Montessori. And then I had to take a donation to Little Sisters of the Poor in New York. And I am really geographically challenged. And I use Google Maps all the time, everywhere, way more than I should, but it just gives me such a sense of security. And I'm a huge fan. I can't imagine how I would do this work or how I would even function in this state without it.
Absolutely. And I use Waze more than I use Google. So the big question is, have you always been organized, cleared, and contained?
I'm going to say one thing, and my mother will probably disagree. So first of all, when I said that this is my business name, I said, Mom, this is my new baby. She said, well, it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. And she said, Kim, you weren't little Betty Homemaker when you were a kid. And that's true, right? But I remember as a child, my sister, who's 2 years younger than me, we found this article in one of my mom's magazines that was something like 10 things to do to spruce up your room. And the first was let there be light. So we'd open up our curtains and it basically looked like we would say, do you want to play house? No. Do you want to play 10 things? Yes. So then we would swap rooms and I would organize her room and move the furniture around and decorate it. And she would do the same for me, or we'd help each other and take turns that way. And we just geeked out. We loved it so much. And
Hmm.
we're kids, so we don't know about like proper recycling. So my mom would always have to pick our trash because we would throw so many things away. And I think that what she's referring to is when I was a teenager and I first started struggling with depression and anxiety, and my environment reflected that significantly.
Wow.
When you're in the throes of depression, it's hard to keep a tidy home. It's hard to have a bedroom that is neat and you feel good in because you just don't feel good. So
Did you know when you were younger that you were suffering from depression?
yes,
You did.
as a teenager, it kind of started for me.
Okay. All right. So then when you were doing, organizing your sister's room, so you found that was like therapeutic.
So therapeutic. We also had a friend of the family pass away, a young kid, when I was in high school. And I remember coping with that by decluttering, cleaning manically. And everything just smelled like bleach all the time because it was so clean. I would just put music on and I would just get lost in it. And that's how I got through that really hard period.
A coping mechanism for you.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
It really is grounding for me. It really helps me to feel calm in my space. I think it has like a significant impact. And I think I've always known that intuitively. And it just feels good for me to do it. So it's easy on a really long day of work and then being with the family to be so tired and to want to crash on the couch. And I know that it's going to feel really good to be done the night we reset and to wake up in the morning to freshly brewed coffee and the dishes are done and the kitchen is clean. So
Yeah.
like it's a gift to my future self.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Oh my gosh. So taking you out of your teenage years and then you decided to become a occupational therapist. And so tell us what an occupational therapist is first and what you do.
So an occupational therapist is someone who helps you to live your best life and remove any obstacles that are in your way, whether they are physical, mental, emotional, cognitive, logistical, environmental. And your occupations are the things that you do that is meaningful to you. It's your roles, your rituals, your routines. If I became injured today and I couldn't pick up my toddler, a lot of things on my day would change.
Right.
Or if I became injured today and I had a brain injury, I would need help with a lot of things with my business, like
Right.
probably somebody supervising me and helping me with my books, my bookkeeping. And I mean, it's like, you never know, because at any moment, anything can happen to all of us.
Absolutely.
And so it's really like helping people to live in the present in whatever season of life they're in, be it like an acute injury or an exacerbation of a chronic illness, or just like a decline over time.
Right.
And finding ways that they can still participate meaningfully in their life.
So do you feel that your organizational skills that you honed as a teenager helps you in the occupational therapy area?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I think it's very, so I think being a person who has depression and anxiety, I've had therapy for more of my life than I probably have not. I'm a big fan. I think that empathy is one of my superpowers. I think that I have honed that skill. And so I can really sit with someone who's in pain. And that's any kind of pain. And I can really zero in on what they're thinking and feeling and be a support and meet them where they are. And this is so important in occupational therapy because I'm dealing with people in some of the worst moments of their lives. And not everybody is very kind in those moments. And I'm seeing people at their worst sometimes.
Absolutely.
And they're suffering at that moment. And all I can do is think, like, I have to work with you for 45 minutes. How can I make you feel a little bit better? How can I get you a little stronger, a little more feeling capable and confident with yourself to do something?
Absolutely. And I think that makes a difference that you have the empathy because you've been there through depression, maybe perhaps not exactly what they are encountering at that moment, but you have, internally, how you have felt at your worst. And then, so your skills just coming forward into that seems to be a perfect fit for you.
Yeah. I have this tattoo on my wrist. Of course, it was the first one, and it's so cliche to get it on your wrist, but it's actually a broken infinity symbol to represent impermanence.
Wow.
So it was after a really hard breakup, and I thought, I will never get through this. But then I had to keep saying, yes, I will. Yes, I will. Like, yes, I will. Someday I will get through this. And I got this tattoo to remind me that nothing lasts forever. Pain and suffering are temporary. Happiness and joy and gratitude and love are temporary too, right? So like lean into it when it feels really good and just be patient and know that it will pass when it's not so good, right? And so I had a really incredible moment with a patient one time who was recovering from back surgery, and she was in the shower. We were working on her bathing routine, and she was just hysterically crying. I can't do this. I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much agony. And I started talking about impermanence, and it was such a relatable moment, and it was so sweet. And I think that's the message a lot of people need to hear. You're not your disability. You're not your clutter. You are not your stress. No. You are not your limitations. Absolutely. This is just like a part of life. We all have challenges, and let me help you. Let me help.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so does the organizing just complete you?
It is so therapeutic for me, and it is so fun. And I really just geek out. Like I just go into flow. I go into a whole mode of operation. And when my toddler said the word organized for the first time, I thought my heart was exploding in my chest. And he goes, "Oh, do you see what I'm doing? I'm organizing."
And how old is he?
He's 3.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing about it is I always try to find a way to developmentally appropriately include kids in the process.
That's awesome.
So I am finding that kids just want to be a part of it. They want to help. They want to know what's going on. They want to have little jobs. They want to feel important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I always recruit him to help me with things.
That's great.
Even if it's just peeling off stickers, pressing print on my label maker. He loves it so much. And so it's definitely a hobby that's at home. I think my wife would say it's not her favorite hobby.
I was just going to ask you about your wife.
This is her home that she purchased in the mid 2000s. And I did not come here until 2018. Okay. And before I was here, I was living in the city and moving a lot. So moving once a year, every other year, every couple of years. So I had a lot of experience of taking inventory of everything I own. And I think I have a natural lean toward minimalism, thanks to my grandparents and the way that I was raised, and also my father. It's really in my blood. But taking that time every single year or every other year to take stock of what you have. And you're really having a moment to reflect on where you've been in the last year and who you are now versus who you were then and what you're ready to let go of. And this no longer serves me. And I bought this because I really loved it at the time, but it's just kind of filler right now. Right. I can let this go. As a matter of fact, in that breakup, I was living 0.75 miles from Philly Ace Thrift. And so this is when I discovered Marie Kondo.
There you go. All right. Yep. I was going to ask you about that because
Marie Kondo came in to change the game for me. And I did. I went through the whole process myself. I'm very motivated for it naturally. So it wasn't too hard for me. Plus, I didn't have a ton of stuff. But, in a breakup, it's about letting go, right?
Right.
And so, oh my gosh, I had that little shopping cart that you see people push around the city. I would load it up. It would be like overflowing, probably unsafe. I would, walk it up the rickety sidewalk, 1/4 mile or 3/4 mile and walk it home and just over and over and over and over again. Wow. And it just felt so healing. Every single step away from my apartment with these things I was holding on to, these material items that didn't make me feel good to have around.
Right.
I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm trying to give myself a clean slate. I'm trying to bring hope into my life. And I was able to do that through the process of decluttering. It was transformative. I've obviously read everything she's written and I've seen her Netflix specials. I watch all of the shows. I read all the books. I go to the library all the time.
Wow.
Of course, I don't buy them because I don't want to have that many things. I don't want to have that many possessions.
Of course.
I love it.
And so all of that brings you inner peace, and it brought you through a period of time where you were, as you said, going through the breakup, being depressed, having the clutter, not only in your life, but I know for me that the clutter and becomes chaos in the mind. And so when I've read and been on your website where, when you start removing that, you're not only removing an object, right? You're almost removing that piece that it's not good anymore. Let me take it, you take it out and put it aside, or take it out and bring it to the thrift store.
It's so true. I mean, what happened was I created a space which was very empty. And then maybe you think that's so sad, but really it was like potential.
It's a clean slate.
It's a clean slate. It's a chance to start over. It's like asking me to really, really intentionally bring in what I love and attract to me what is best for me.
That's right. And so it just brings back in all the good energy that you had spent in an area that you needed to move out.
And I think a lot of my clients have a lot of guilty clutter. So I can't let go of this because it was my grandmother's handmade something.
Yeah.
Or I bought this on a vacation with my child on the first time we went away together. And the truth is that this is a material thing, and the joy that you feel around it and the happiness of the memory and the pull that's in you is inside of you.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not this tangible physical thing. Exactly. And you can honor your family, you can honor your ancestors by talking about them and remembering them and speaking to them if they're no longer with us, and sharing, memories and reminiscing about them to other family members, looking at pictures, talking about the experiences, talking about, we went on vacation and I bought this really special thing. Absolutely. You don't have to hold this freedom to have it be meaningful.
Absolutely. And my mom would love you because that is her philosophy. She has certain pictures of her grandkids, of her children, but it's one, or, it's one of each. It's not a big cluster. She has certain things that she has saved, but it's very minimum. And literally, if you walk through her house, it's been the same forever. Everything has a place in her home, and it doesn't feel empty. It doesn't feel like she should have more. So like you're speaking to, just having the minimum at hand. You're right. I never even thought about that so much, except for my mom does do that. She talks, loves to reminisce, and she loves to talk about family and to ask questions. And so I never even thought of putting all that together. Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I love it too, because it sounds like she really curated a home that she loves. Absolutely. And that every single thing that's there belongs there because it's special to her and it's worthy of her attention and care.
And she literally has thought about everything that she has brought into the home. It just wasn't a quick purchase at Home Goods.
First of all, I want to meet your mom and see her home. So my home looks like a toddler exploded with giddiness in my home. But this is my phase. It's okay. It's my season of life. I'm a new small business owner. I'm very busy. I'm a primary parent here.
Absolutely. You've been a licensed occupational therapist since 2010. And then in 2016, you did deal with mental health. And then in 2020, you become a new mom. And so what's that journey been like?
I have said recently on my Facebook page that I feel like I'm going to sleep smiling. Like I feel like I'm legitimately smiling. And I think 10 years ago, I could have never imagined this life. I did not see entrepreneurship in my future. I think that's still lost on me. I think I still focus so much on the fact that I get to help people declutter and organize that I forget that I'm also a small business owner.
Absolutely.
And that's really cool. And also I'm learning that I'm a really good worker and I need to be a better boss. There's a learning curve. There's a learning curve for sure. I just feel so incredibly fortunate to have found the best wife, to have created the most amazing little human being. Like, whew, I think that every day I have this moment of just like, I can't believe this is my life. And now on top of having that and having that fulfilled, which I never even imagined it could be like this for me, now I get to declutter and organize for a living. This is the thing that I have always loved the most. And if you're asking me about like also my journey or also what else I really love Broadway plays. And it's like a secret hope that someday I'll be decluttering with someone and they'll say like, hey, let's sing this whole soundtrack. And I'll say, yes, of course, let's do it. I'll act out this part. And like, it's a secret hope, but maybe not what will happen because I'm putting it out there. But this job that I'm on right now, my client's not there during the day. And so I have been listening to Hamilton, singing and dancing and bebopping around her kitchen and just having the best time. And
when did I mean, where else are you going to do that? I love it. But when did you take the leap of faith? When did you know you wanted to start your small business, which is growing? It's not going to be small forever because it's already growing out of the small word.
Well, that's really, really kind of you to say. I thank you for that. I don't know that I ever realized that this was a thing. And that's how I felt about occupational therapy, because going like rewinding, I thought I wanted to work with people that had disabilities. And so I became a special ed major. And in the first semester, I quickly realized that's not it. Nope. And so then I went into publishing, but I kept thinking, I want to be hands-on. I want to be helping people. I want to be doing something that's more meaningful to me. My therapist at the time said, what about occupational therapy? I don't know what that is. She said, go home and look it up. And as soon as I saw it, I said, that's what I want. So that's what I did. I have been learning more about Marie Kondo and minimalism and kind of getting deeper into that study myself. And then I have COVID, and it's the night of my best friend's bachelorette party that I planned in Philly, which is my city that I love so much.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm quarantined in my room all alone.
Oh no.
And I found this sandbox on Marketplace, and the woman was like, I'm selling this for my client. I'm an organizer. And I said,
Right.
Excuse me, what?
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what? Wait, that's what you do? And then it was like a seed was planted.
Oh my goodness.
And then a couple of weeks later, COVID is gone for me. I'm at the wedding. I whisper to one of my best friends, I could do this. Like, I could really do this. And it was just a whisper. But man, over the next like 8 or 9 months, it was just becoming louder and louder and more clear, and just so much more evident that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Also, then it looked like, well, now I better start organizing everybody that I know, practicing. And so it's good to ask consent before you do that.
Okay.
My wife would come home and be like, where is everything? Like, where's my stuff? Doesn't it look better here, babe? Doesn't it seem like more functional right here? It was just suddenly very, very real for me. I was starting to tell people out loud. And now I'm talking about it. Now I'm like, it's going to be a thing. And then I got an email from the YMCA, the Brandywine Y, saying that they're having a Women in Small Business Expo on Thursday. And it's Monday morning. And I called my best friend who just got married. And I was like, tell me that this is crazy that I'm thinking about signing up for this when I don't have a business. And she said, do it. And you called me because you know that I was going to say, do it. And that's why you called me. And I said, yes, you're right. So we didn't even have a computer at the time at my house. Jess gets home from work and I'm like, listen, babe, I got to go to the library. I got to get stuff done. And I went on LegalZoom and I got my LLC expedited. I made a website that night. I started and I finished it the next day. I mean, it was like rapid fire go. And then I got to my table at the Women in Small Business Expo. And I felt, of course you feel like you don't belong.
Right.
But what I was trying to do was look around the room and say, like, these are my people now. Like, this is my community now. Like, I belong here. And they all started at the beginning at one point. And if anything, there's a lot of women in this room who can inspire me and motivate me and teach me and be my mentor. And I always seek that out. I love it. And so even that first day, I found people that I'm still connected with. Wow. I met a massage therapist who does the best massages. I met a woman named Esther, who's in the North Wilmington Networkers, and she's doing incredible things with seniors. And so we bonded over that, since that's my OT niche is where I work in a rehab. And Esther has kind of taken me under her beautiful, brilliant wing and been a huge mentor to me. Everybody there just kind of validated that I was they could see my passion. They could see my drive. They thought I was a little bit crazy for just starting this on Monday and coming here on Thursday. It was surreal. I mean, it was like lightning speed.
I think that's one of the best stories that I have heard about jumping and taking that leap of faith right from the beginning and not looking back. Because if you hadn't, who knows? Because so many women that I have spoken to, they've always hesitated in the beginning, always self-doubt or somebody chattering in their ear. So I'm glad that you shared that, so that if you have that passion, if you have that drive, and that's what you want to do, then you just go for it. I mean, and you're right. We all started at the beginning, and we all grow from, mistakes, and then we learn from others, and it's a whole growing process. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, if I didn't write half a novel, the way that I jumped into this adventure, I didn't have a plan. I didn't have any understanding of what I was supposed to be doing. And it was a really rocky start in the sense of, oh yeah, I have to get insurance. Oh yeah, I have to I need an accountant. Oh yeah, I need to like track all this information. And oh yeah, I should like make an official contract. And it
Right?
was just, oh my gosh, it was so much. And I mean, but this is how I am. Like when I'm all in, I'm all in and I'm all in right away.
Oh my
And
gosh.
like I came out of the closet and I was like instantly I'm rainbow everything and I'm going to all the events and I'm
I
on
love
the
it.
scene.
I love
And
it.
so this is the same thing. I'm like, I'm gonna have my small business. Here it is. Oh my gosh, it was a wild time and I made a lot of mistakes that I learned from and I'm happy to talk about. I love it. I mean, I love it. I remember the first day I went around like hanging up my business cards in coffee shops and just being like,
That's me. That's me. You get your business up and running and website, social media postings and marketing. Did you do it all yourself or did you have any help?
in terms of getting set up initially, logistically, getting my LLC, getting registered. I definitely had help from two of my very good friends, one of the bridesmaids and the bride that was married earlier that year. And I like to call them, I like to call these women that I'm bringing into my life my mentor slash sensei, because I just feel so open to absorbing the wisdom of the people that are blazing the trail. Like I signed up for a professional organizer club and there's a woman named Sonia who I'm happy to talk about later too, because she's the best. And I just getting so much from her wisdom and her knowledge and things I wouldn't have even thought of, basic things that just, I'm too close to it. I'm too close to the problem. And I've always been a person that sought out mentorship, people that can help me. I'm good at asking for help and not everybody is. So I'm very lucky for that. And also my wife has been an incredible support and, she's learning as I go, like we're doing it together essentially. And so I'll often talk things through with her or say, can you edit my email?
It's important. I think it is important that we have somebody to reach out to in the beginning. I happen to be a wedding officiant also. And in the very beginning, I had a mentor and I would not have become a wedding officiant without her. She had just said, oh, I think you'd be great at it. It's like, no, I'm not an extrovert. No, I'm not standing up in front of anywhere from, 2 to 200 people. No, I'm not doing it. And she literally like just took me by the hand and said, oh, yeah, let's try this. Come on, we'll do this. Yeah. So I just think it's so important to have a support, your wife or Sonia or your crew of who you can reach out to. And I like the sensei. I have to remember that one. I'll have to include that because I like that. Absolutely. I know you had mentioned you didn't have a business plan in the beginning because you didn't literally just put it all together and went to the YMCA.
That's what happened. And then in the first week that I launched, someone called me up for a job and she's like, I've heard about you. Like I said, I had started organizing kind of like unofficially, friends and family, under the table, some random strangers on like mom's Facebook pages who were like, hey, I need help with this. I was like, I'm coming to you and like, this is going to happen. It was really surreal that my name was out there.
Right?
But also it gave me this like false sense of where I was because then there was a month of like total cricket. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. And then I'm like, oh, okay, like no one is talking to me. And so, I'm just trying to work on all the things and not panic and, trust the process and all this other to think about when you're in this kind of position. And then it did just kind of really explode very quickly. And like I said, I got very involved in the organizing component and I was the stay-at-home mom at the time. So it was looking like grandparents coming in to help. And I'm so lucky for the grandparents because we have a lot of them thanks to divorce and remarriage, but they've been coming to help so much. And so I was able to take on job after job after job. And then I'm getting my reviews and I'm getting all these great before and after pictures. And then more people are hearing about me. And so it just happened really fast where all of a sudden I really didn't have a plan and I was falling behind on my bookkeeping and I was not having a great system for mileage and I was feeling overwhelmed with the fact that also I have to maintain a business.
Right. Absolutely.
I have an accountant, which is really funny because my father's an accountant. And so like I've always had someone else just do it all for me, my father. And then now I'm like a big kid and he's retired and like time to move on, like time to get someone professionally. It's more complicated now that I have a business and I'm, filing jointly, and we found an accountant and I'm sitting in the office like, I cannot believe I'm here right now. Like I own a business. This is so unbelievable. And then I'm like, oh, I better pay attention to what she's saying. It sounds important. I'm just good right now.
But that's great. So do you have the business plan in place now?
It is fluid, very dynamic. It is, I still feel really protective of it because it's my second baby. I like to have control. I have this really high level of integrity, and I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I envision moving forward. I just know that I love it so much right now. And I don't want to say perfect, but it's like very close.
What I've said to other women is that even if you have the very basic of a business plan, it's always going to change over time as you grow, your business grow. So it's never going to be set in concrete. And just having, I think sometimes that organization and having that plan in place.
Learning how to say no, right? Like what an important life skill, especially for women, especially for moms, but especially as a new small business owner. A client calls and I'm like, this is not a good fit. I don't think we should work together. Like, I don't think I can help you. And it's something just to mention really briefly, because it's just so important that sometimes when I'm speaking with a client, they'll say, oh, I'm such a hoarder. But that's also a mental illness. That's also a really serious, really tough illness. It has profound effects on the family and the spouse and the kids. And it's something that warrants much higher level help than I can give. I can come and I can work with you and it'll be like a little bit better, but I'm not going to solve the problem that's underlying it. And it really requires a professional organizer who's specialized in it, as well as a therapist. And like, I just know that I wouldn't be giving you the best service.
And you bring so much into your business because of your background. Being able to say that to you could have very well said to her, oh, sure, no problem. I can come in and help with a little thing here or there. But your integrity and knowing what you know and what you've brought to your business is probably the best thing that you have going for yourself, because it is hard to say no to somebody.
It is hard to say no. And there's always that intuition that's like, I don't have a good feeling about this. And then I go there and I'm like, oh, I should have said no. But it's me learning, right?
Right.
And that's okay. I like to think I'm in your life in this season because you are brave and you're ready to like accept that you need some help. It's like I'm working with everyday people. Like I'm not working with anybody who's extreme. I'm working with like parents who are really busy, parents who are juggling a lot of different schedules with their kids, their spouse, parents who are working, who are traveling, who are like just so busy. I think people can get blind to the clutter that's around them, but also I think especially in women, it's like this mental load that we're constantly carrying because things are not right in our environment. And we know that this is not the home I want to live in. When you close your eyes and you picture your dream home, it doesn't look cluttered like this. A lot of people are overwhelmed and don't know where to start because all they see is mess. And that's where I come in because I love that. Right. Exciting to me because all I see is like the bones underneath. Like, wait till you see that. We can reimagine the whole space together. A lot of people say like, wow, I haven't even seen my closet since I moved in. Like, I didn't even know that there was rug down there, carpeting down there. Like,
yeah. And I have seen your before and after pictures, and it's amazing. It's amazing just getting it organized, never mind getting the clutter out, but just, seeing the boxes and the organization. Oh my God.
And the clutter piece is the key. One of my favorite parts of the process. It's the most important thing because essentially we all have too much stuff.
Absolutely.
And, we're living in homes that were not built for Amazon at our fingertips, or that weren't built for like Costco runs, impulse buys at Target and Home Goods. I'm like, we're all guilty of this, myself included, but we don't have places to put it. So then things don't have a home. And then we know that clutter attracts more clutter. And you just you get behind and you get farther and farther behind, and it becomes more overwhelming, and it's a really bad cycle.
Absolutely.
And so many of my clients are like, I just need a reset.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to come reset your home for you so that you can maintain it. The goal, the pictures are great, right? The pictures look really good. And I stand by having them. I ask for consent in the contract or talk about it when I'm there. I think the before pictures can show people like, wow, other people's homes look like mine. Other people are struggling too. Like this is normal. And I don't feel as bad because I know I'm not alone now. I think that it's a really nice way to show you can get help too. Like you can have a transformation too. You're never too far gone. The worst I've ever seen is not the worst I've ever seen. We're always so hard on ourselves. We're our worst critiques. I'm here to declutter your home. I'm here to declutter your mind
That's
from
it.
all of these stories that you're telling yourself and this narrative that you've bought that I'm a mess, I'm a slob, I'm a hoarder.
Yes.
I am, I can't keep up with my life. Like I'm failing at parenthood because I have toys everywhere. It's just bullshit.
Right.
If I can say that. It is. And it's women struggle with this so much, whether or not you admit that you're overwhelmed or unhappy with the state of your home.
Right.
Like you're thinking about it. Or I think I made a video on Facebook a while ago. I'm a little shy, so it's hard to get my face in front of the camera. I'm trying to work on that because I do want to connect with people because this is really intimate work. And I want people to know that I'm real, I'm authentic. I've been through this myself. I've been on both sides. I can be with you where you are and help. I made this video and I was saying how, I'm this person who likes this micro organizing, this like file folded, color coordinated, every like thing in its own little compartment. I love that. And during COVID, when I was home all the time, my drawers were like immaculate, perfect. And then I have a baby. My wife, we have a baby, and I'm going back to work. I'm opening a small business. It's taking off. And then it's like my clothes are on top of my dresser. They're hanging over the bed. That system was not working for me anymore.
Right.
Because of the season of life that I'm in, which I wouldn't trade for anything. But I have to say that like, it's the system. It's not me. I'm not the problem. I'm not broken. I'm not damaged. I'm not screwed up because I can't meticulously fold these clothes the perfect way. That's no longer my priority. And it's funny because when Marie Kondo made that comment about now that she has a third kid, her home's a mess. That's not really what she meant, but man, everyone blew up my inbox with like, did you see this article? The goal is not to have a perfect home.
No,
because we live there. We're humans, we're imperfect, and we're busy living. We're enjoying our lives. Home that's easy to reset, that you can go away for a weekend and come back, and it doesn't take you a week to unpack and put everything away, or it doesn't like compound into this bigger problem. You just need to be able to reset your home. That's the goal. And it's really possible. And I think coming from it with an occupational therapist standpoint, I have this framework of looking at the person, the occupation, and the environment and how they all play together. And so it's a really individualized process. It's not, I'm going to come into everyone's home and do the exact same thing. What works for you doesn't work for me. My wife and I actually have really opposite organizing styles and preferences, which is hilarious. And I often think like, man, there should be like a whole blog about her and I having these conversations about things around the house because it gets it's just really funny because it's not her way,
Yeah, but you've worked it out. You work well together. Yeah, it's just about, it's a little bit at a time too, I think, just chipping off if that's what you want to do, declutter and organize. It's just a little bit at a time. I think people just make it to the point where, it's so overwhelming. But once you really sit down and talk about it and then start just organizing the process, probably a little bit easier. So what were, we've all had them, obstacles when you started your business. And not only that, you are a woman. And did you encounter any obstacles being a woman owned and an LGBTQ plus owned business?
I think obstacles would be that I am naturally introverted. So it was very hard, and it still is challenging to put myself out there and go to like in-person networking events. I joined the North Wilmington Networkers, and that team of people is incredible and really been helpful and supportive. That was hard for me to like show up in that space, feeling shy, feeling uncomfortable, feeling like I don't have anything to give.
Right.
I need to receive so much. but I feel like I do have things to give. I feel like I've learned a lot in this short time. If nothing else, like I can be your biggest cheerleader. And I'll ask you 100 questions so you feel really good about it. um, I think a barrier too is just like, I'm not from this area. I moved here from Philly. Everyone that knew me was shocked when I came here, but I came here for her. She's the best. So here I am. But also, like when I moved here, my life was very small because I was working 5 minutes down the road and coming home and doing nothing. So for a long time, it was very hard because I didn't find community and the LGBT scene is like not the same that it is in Philly. A big part of my identity was that I'm a city person and I'm living in the suburbs. It was a huge adjustment.
Yeah.
And it's something I talk to my son about a lot, where I say, like, you can feel happy and sad at the same time. Because I was so happy to be in this marriage, to be here with this woman who's so incredible. And I was so sad that I had to leave the city because it was grief,
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And before we go any further, how do people get in touch with you?
You can just shoot me a text right now. 302-729-2168. Just send a message, say, hi, what's up? Heard you on the podcast. And then I will say, hi, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much. Also, do you want to look at my Facebook page? Because I work really hard on the content.
Yeah.
And I try to post really meaningful things there that will help you and inspire you. And website, I've just done a major overhaul of the website, consciouslyclearedandcontained.com, which is a mouthful, but also make sure that you recognize that it's consciously cleared and contained. You know what? That is arguably maybe a mistake, that the name is so long that it doesn't even fit on my mail. It doesn't even fit on my business card, my business banking card. It's just so long. My mother said, well, it doesn't roll off the tongue, but I just stand by it. I love it so much. I think so much of the process of resetting your home and like reclaiming your space, like this is your home. You should feel really good here. This should be like not stressful to you. It should be the solace to your stress, right?
It's a whole statement of who you are, period.
Yes, 100% agree. I would like to say, bring intention home, be mindful. Mm-hmm. And I think that like we live in a time where it's really hard to be mindful. It's really hard to be present in our lives. We're being pulled in so many different directions. We have tons of distractions in our face. We just make these choices. We make these impulsive decisions. We buy things we don't need or that we don't love. We get a new home and we fill it up with like things really fast. Or like how I was explaining that I've moved so much in my life. My wife has lived here for a really long time. And so she never had to take a moment to like look at everything she had. And when I came in, I was like, babe, some of this has to go. She was never in that position to have to do it before. Right. She did great. She did so great.
A client will either text you, call you, or fill out the contact form. And then do you have a phone conversation first?
Yes, it's a 3-step process. If you're talking with me and you seem interested, I will often refer you quickly to my Candidly website, where you can book your own appointment based on time slots that I have available. And that's anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, talking about your home. What's going on for you? What are you stressed out about right now? Why are you calling me right now? And just kind of figuring out what's going on and seeing if I can help you. Mm-hmm. I make referrals when I don't feel like I can. Sometimes I get contact in like Lower Delaware and I'll make a referral for an organizer down there. But mostly it's just like, we're talking about what got you here. Okay. What are your barriers? What's getting in the way? How supportive is the family? Like, what are things that you've tried that haven't worked before? What are things that are working well? Like, it's really, it can get emotional. It can get intense, right? Because this is a very sensitive subject, covered in a lot of shame for most people. I'm here for that. I like to make sure that it's really no pressure, no obligation, consent-based. This is the part of the call where if you're interested in moving forward, I can talk to you about next steps. I'm not going to like force my business upon you.
No, probably wouldn't work either that way.
But I think it's really different than having a cleaning person or a contractor come in. I'm literally going through all of your things. I'm literally seeing the ghosts in your closet, like It takes a lot of trust too, because with the decluttering, like I'm encouraging you, I'm giving you a little tough love, I'm pushing you to make choices that are aligned with what you say you want. You want to have a tranquil bedroom. You cannot sort the mail in your bedroom. It can't happen here. Or you can't have all these like heavy books about the world and politics in your bedroom if you want this tranquil space. So really, so much letting go has to happen in the beginning.
Yeah.
You have to really clear out, so consciously cleared. You have to intentionally let go. You can clear the space and you can see this is mine.
Yeah.
And I can make this mine and I can make it feel so good for me. And it's empowering, and decluttering is like a muscle that gets stronger and stronger the more you do it. It's contagious. You get momentum from it. I give homework assignments, like people love it. I get texts from my clients all the time saying like, look at this progress I made. And they send a picture, or they'll say, hey, where'd you put this thing? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's right over here. Or like, what do you think I should do about this area? Or like, what do you think I should? And it's incredible.
Wow.
I mean, one night I had a husband and a wife both texting me at the same time. I think they were like in separate rooms, and it was hilarious because they were talking about different things, but I'm like, this is so much fun.
Do you ever go back and revisit your past clients or keep in touch with your past clients?
I think, like I'm saying, I don't work with people that hoard because that's not my skill set, right? But a lot of people are organized in some areas, but generally have disorganization throughout their home or have too much clutter.
Wow.
Or just don't have systems in place and feel overwhelmed by the daily routine. Like I come in and I work with you and like, it's just so deep and raw at times. I've had people cry. It's emotional. We're talking about heavy things. We're sorting through things. People are letting go of things and it feels cathartic. It's really like a bonding experience. You know, some people are more open than others. I feel close with some of these people.
Wow.
And I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel like you're trusting your instincts. I want you to feel like you're making good choices for your home that you're making. And so like I have a really client-centered approach. And also you'll have momentum when I leave, because every time I work with you, I take a car full of clutter and it mobilizes it out of your home. You wave goodbye. And then when I leave, you can see an immediate impact, how different it looks with so much less stuff. I'm really good at giving concrete tasks that are simple that you can check off. And people will sometimes reply and say like, I did number 1 and number 3. Or
this is so great. Your passion, your drive, your own motivation, the passion in your voice when you speak about your company, you have such an endearing and caring, and the way you articulate everything that you've gone through that we've talked about is why your clients, you connect with your clients 100%. And so you touched base a little bit on giving advice to other women. Is there any other advice you would give the next woman entrepreneur starting their business?
I would say, if you have this fire in you, spread it, go do it, take that leap of faith. And, I do want to add that I came into it with some privilege of a wife who has a very steady job and income. So like, it wasn't like we were dependent on my salary. That's a privilege that I had for sure. But I just think that I'm a really big person of like women supporting women and supporting other small business owners, and really trying to like climb the mountain myself, but also reach back and pull people up with me, because the view from the top is better when it's shared. Even though I'm new, I feel like I have learned things that I can help you with. I think don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Get out there and hustle.
One of my goals with the Woman Entrepreneur Spotlight podcast is to build that network of women. And I would love to add your name to that list.
Yes, I love that so much.
I love this. I have enjoyed this, talking to you and learning all about consciously cleared and contained. And I love the name. As I said, it is a statement, period. And it's who you are. Totally. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So thank you for sharing all that you have shared, because it is very personal. People just don't realize, somebody just comes in and organizes and throws things in a box. You take the time to start from the beginning and find out how they got there. And then you come along and take it 10,000 steps forward. Kim, thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
listen, get in touch with your mom,
Yeah,
call me up.
I will.
Let's have some coffee or a glass of wine. I want to
Absolutely.
see your house. We'll keep talking. It's been
Absolutely.
really good.
And I'm going to share with you at this
Mhm.
end here because my mom and my sister have always have everything in place. I
Yes.
tend to have things a little bit out of place. I've learned to declutter. You are definitely coming down. All right.
I love it.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.